recording and communicating knowledge. Communication. We send messages in two different ways, by speaking or by writing. Writing is a way of recording or storing words and ideas. People can read them at any time and at any place. Long ago in ancient India, for example, knowledge was passed orally from generation to generation. It was not recorded in written form. Because of this, knowledge was communicated to a very few people. This may also have resulted in the loss of knowledge. Slowly, better methods of recording and communicating knowledge came into place. The earliest form of written communication was through pictures. These gave carved paintings from Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh, more than 10,000 years old. Written communication. The earliest form of written communication was through pictures. Pictures mainly of animals have been discovered in caves in which early humans lived. But making pictures took a long time. Gradually, the pictures were replaced by signs and symbols. The Sumerians of Mesopotamia were the first to develop a system of writing called a script using signs over 5,000 years ago. They wrote their signs on blocks of clay called tablets. Many of these tablets have been discovered. The Egyptians developed a script using pictures and symbols about 5,000 years ago. The Chinese and Japanese scripts were based on pictures and symbols even today. Most languages today use the system of the alphabets. Alphabets are nothing but symbols representing different sounds humans produce. The first proper alphabet system to be used was probably Syria, about 3,500 years ago. About 50 different alphabet systems are used in the world today. The Roman alphabet, which is used to write the English language, has 26 letters. The oldest script in India was discovered in the seals of the Indus Valley civilization. No one yet been able to read the script. Later, the Brahmi and other scripts were discovered. Most scripts used to write Indian languages today have been derived from the Brahmi script. The Devanagari script was used to write Hindi and some other Indian languages. Writing numbers. In the early days, sticks and stones, even pictures, were used to count. Early humans used pictures and symbols to keep record of numbers. For example, to record the number of animals they killed. The Romans developed a system of writing numbers in which 7 symbols were used to write numbers from 1 to 1 lakh. The common system of writing numbers used in most parts of the world today is the Hindu-Arabic system. This system was developed in India more than 2000 years ago. the Arabs took it to Europe. The beauty of the system is that it uses only 10 symbols from 0 to 9 to represent any number, no matter how large it is. Paper. About 4,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians used the stem of plant called papyrus to make paper. The name paper is derived from papyrus. True paper as we know it today was first made by Chinese about 1,900 years ago. It was probably made from the bark of trees. The bark was made into pulp and then spread out in thin sheets and left it to dry. Today, wood pulp is used to make paper. Paper was invented before printing. Earlier, books had to be written by hand on paper. This was slow and laborious. Books were therefore very rare. They were only available to a few people. Printing. Printing was developed in China about 2,000 years ago. The Chinese cut designs on the flat block of wood. Thus, an impression of the design was made on paper. This method was used by the Chinese to print books. Though the block took a long time to make, several copies of a book could be made from them. Movable metal for printing. In the year 1450, Johan Gutenburg of Germany brought about a revolution in printing. He made several small metal molds of the letters of the alphabet and could be arranged to form words, lines, and pages. This was called typesetting. Printing newspaper. Ink was applied to the typeset pages and they were pressed on page to get the impression. Once a book was printed, the individual types were taken apart and used to print another book. Putting together types to make a page of a book was much faster and easier than making a block of the page. Books could now be printed much faster and in large numbers. They became cheaper and many more people could read them. Braille, a script for the blind. We read with our eyes, but how would a visually challenged person read? A special script called Braille allows a person who cannot see to read a book using his or her fingers. The script was developed by Louis Braille in France. In Braille, the letters of each word are printed in patterns of small dots. These dots are raised from the surface of the paper so that the visually challenged person can feel them with the fingers. Braille is read by lightly running through fingers on a long dots. Knowledge, literacy, and progress. With the coming of computers, printing has become much faster and better. Metal types are no longer used. Instead, special computer software, for example, PageMaker and InDesign are used to arrange the text and pictures in the pages. For a country to make progress, it is important that knowledge be communicated to a large number. This is possible only if most people in country can read and write. Literacy is therefore the key to progress. Unfortunately, in India, a large number of people still cannot read and write.